Hello, welcome to Chapter 6 of Dark Tales of Cursed Children. After this video, I'm going to tell you the answers of last time's video. Thank you and enjoy. Chapter 6, Wet Willie, September 13th, 2011, Tuesday. At 8:05 a.m., Scarlett James walked into room 901, late again. She sat between Kyle and Owen. This time she was late because she'd found an unexpected present in her locker. It was a card. She'd stood there by her locker reading the anonymous card over and over. It said, "I think you're awesome. I'd love to hang out with you." There was no name, no signature, but she knew who it was. It had to be Camden Graham. On her way to room 901, Camden had stopped her to ask for the time. He was by himself today, and when she'd finally mentioned to him the time, he'd smiled at her before thanking her. He'd lingered for a little while before he left. It seemed like he wanted to ask her something. "Of course I'd hang out with you," she thought. Scarlett opened her backpack and did a double take on Owen. Then she smiled. He'd taken her suggestion about slicking his hair back and losing the glasses. "Wow, I can't believe you listened to me," said Scarlett, pulling out her headphones. "Well, thanks," he said without looking at her. "I just can't see anything until my contacts arrive." She giggled and shoved his arms. "Now lose that blush." "Sorry." The new student, Ray Mars, sat next to Astrid Avery. Caleb Dean and Lorenzo Matteo, who sat behind him, kept shooting spitballs at the back of his neck and giggling. Astrid realized what was happening and turned around to face them. "Hey, you need to cut that out," she said in her gentle, trilling voice. "Way to be mature." Then she turned around, faced Rage, and put her palm on top of his hand to comfort him. "I'm so sorry about Beavis and Butthead here. They have no manners at all." "Whatever," whispered Lorenzo. While looking down at his desk, Caleb elbowed Lorenzo to shut him up. "Boys can be so immature," said Greta, who sat in front of Rage. She squinted her eyes, shook her head in disappointment, and then turned around. Astrid quickly glanced to her right. Her blonde hair swaying to her front, and then back at Rage, who was rubbing his right ear. "This is my friend Charlotte Kennedy," she said, placing her right arm around Charlotte's shoulder. "If these two doofuses give you a hard time, just let me and Charlie know." "Yeah," Charlie chimed in. "They act like bullies, but they're really harmless." Charlie had curly, dark brown hair and hazel eyes that seemed to glow like a light bulb. Astrid had long blonde hair and pastel blue eyes. At the same time, they turned back and giggled at Caleb and Lorenzo. The boys were blushing in embarrassment. Then Astrid and Charlie looked at each other with serious expressions before they laughed again. It seemed like they were on in a secret joke. "Thank you," said Rage in a low voice. He rubbed his right ear and smiled to himself. The collector was right. No girl had ever volunteered to talk to him or stand up for him. Could Astrid be the new voice in his head? He thought. He tried not to stare at her too much. She sat right next to him, and every time she moved, he could smell a wonderful citrus fragrance from her. She had to be the voice. At 9:06 a.m., a short girl with curly brown hair walked into room 901. She asked Mr. Anea if she could make an announcement. Mr. Anea looked up from his laptop, looked at Shelby, and then nodded at the girl. Shelby jumped out of her chair, grabbed the felt mallet from the sound bowl, and struck it hard. "Shut up!" The girl with the curly hair fidgeted with her fingers uncomfortably as the students stared at her. Hi, you guys. My name is Harper, and I'm your classroom representative. I want to let you know that next Friday we'll be having our annual fall harvest dance in the gymnasium. Tickets are $3 each, and you may purchase them at the student store. Are there any questions? The students went back to chattering amongst themselves. Harper looked down and quickly walked out of room 901. Scarlett looked at Owen for a while, but he wouldn't look at her. Something was wrong with him today. It wasn't anything that a wet Willie couldn't fix, she thought. Scarlett licked her finger and stuck it in Owen's right ear. "What the hell, Scarlett?" said Owen, grabbing the bottom of his Van Halen shirt and wiping his ear. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she asked. "You're being quiet and acting weird. Anyway, I was trying to get your attention, but you wouldn't look at me." Owen turned his head and faced Scarlett. "I'm sorry, what did you want to tell me? I hope I'm looking at you without my glasses on." "Yes, you are, you dork," she said, shaking her head. "Now that you look hot, you should ask Esther Clutterbuck to the dance." Owen didn't say anything for a while. "I told you, it's not like that with me and her." "So what? You should ask her to the dance anyway. You might end up falling in love with her." "No," he tried to whisper forcefully. "Cut it out, Scarlett." "Fine, you grouch," she said before socking him in his arm. Owen was confused. He wanted to be with Scarlett at the dance. He wanted them to fall in love together. She did say he looked hot now, so why was she so adamant about hooking him up with Esther? The reason he acted so weird today was because he'd left the card in her locker. He'd hoped she knew it was Owen who left it there. Thank you for watching the 6th chapter. For the question of last time's, for the answer of last time's thingy, the 2 sentences that were in Rage's heads were, I miss you, Rage. Come find me so we can be together. This question is, who put the card in Scarlett's locker? And thank you for watching, and make sure to like, comment on your answer, and definitely hit that subscribe button, even notifications, and yeah, thank you.